Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Hannah Stewart. I know you said you wanted April 3rd, but this was the best I can do because there's no spoiler tomorrow, but we'll get there. So Hannah is a big fan of Brittany and Cindy. Maybe Cindy will come back, who knows? And I also want to give a shout out to Hannah's mom. Hi! Alright, so let's talk about what happened last night. First of all, that whole broken camera thing was an April Fool's prank. Wow, Big Brother. Just wow. Whatever. Okay, so, also, Cindy was evicted by a unanimous vote of 12-0. Kevin won the HOH, and guess what? It's an instant eviction. So that means that there's no POV, and the house guests are going to vote right after the nominations. No campaigning. So, the feeds, as a result, are off. They're off now. They went off this afternoon, and they're not going to be back on until Sunday night after the show. So, it's good and it's bad, because it's nice to have Easter weekend off, but at the same time, the next spoiler isn't going to be until Monday, unless there's a leak. They did the same thing in the 2 previous seasons. Season 1, there was a leak. Season 2, there wasn't. So, if they do have a leak, and we find out what happened, I'm going to make a spoiler video. If not, I will see you guys on Monday. Alright, so there was some Twitter speculation that Kevin already had to make his nominations right after the live show last night. These reports came from Hamster Watch, and Hamster Watch is like very, very accurate. If it came from anywhere else, I probably wouldn't even be mentioning it, but Hamster Watch, you're amazing. So, Kevin apparently, or supposedly nominated Neha and Bobby. Of course, he's not allowed to tell anyone. It's got to be a secret. So, I'm not saying this is 100% true. I'm just saying there's a very strong likelihood that Kevin has already made his nominations. Alright, so let's talk about what happened in the house last night. It was pretty wild. So, Kevin and Zach were having a little strategy chat, and Kevin makes it very clear he did not want to win that HOH last night. I'm not surprised, because I was just thinking, like, no, he didn't want to win that. So he couldn't help it. He didn't even study. He was just giving bogus answers, and they just so happened to be right. And then Ashley got the last question wrong. So Kevin won by default. So then they were talking about who's going to go up on the block this week, and Zach was basically like, if you don't put up Neha, you're going to be getting a lot of heat from the rest of the house, so you kind of have to do it. Okay. So Zach was saying, yeah, if Neha goes up on the block, he's going to fight really hard in that POV if he's playing to keep those noms the same. And I'm thinking, no you won't, because it's an instant eviction. But they don't know that. So Kevin is like, yeah, we're on the same page. Neha's probably going to be going up, and maybe we'll have Sarah up next to her as a pawn. We'll see. So Neha, on the other hand, is freaking fired up. She was talking to Brittany, and she was telling her how she could hear the live audience during the HOH competition, and they were all like, every time Neha got an answer right, and then when she was eliminated, everyone was just like, So Neha wasn't the only one who heard this. Like, everyone could hear it. It was pretty obvious. So she's like really excited about it. It's gotta feel good to know that you have the fans in your corner. So she is so determined to stay this week. She's telling Brittany, F Greg, F Godfrey, I'm staying. So then Neha's talking to Kevin, and she reminds him, you would have been going this past week if you didn't win the power veto. So like all those guys, they wanted you out. So she's like, yeah, we need to talk to Johnny, see what he thinks. Please do not put up me and Johnny. So then Neha was talking to Sarah, and Sarah was like, we need to stop worrying about simple people like Pilar and Ashley, who are just kind of like accessories, you know what I mean? They're not really making moves, they're kind of just like hanging on. So Sarah also says, something's up with Kevin. She can sniff it out. She knows there's something weird going on. She's still thinking about that whole balloon popping thing. She's speculating that maybe Kevin is Canada's player, which we know that he's not, but I think that's a really good observation. And I think that Sarah should keep up that good work. But she knows there's something weird going on with Kevin. I don't know. So, well, I do know, but you know what I mean. So the have-nots got to eat last night, yay, and not only did they get normal food, but they got cake and ice cream for a belated birthday celebration for Johnny. He got something after all. So then there was a meeting in Newport, aka Zach and Jordan were talking, and they were discussing, you know, going with the flow this week. They're probably going to have to just go ahead and get rid of Neha. And then once Neha and Johnny are gone, there aren't going to be that many smart people left. They're going to flip on the Chop Shop and try to pull in Kevin and Pilar. They're pretty convinced that they can also pull in Ashley. Yeah, I think so too. It's really just a matter of time before the showmance really blossoms between Zach and Ashley. So, yeah. Speaking of, Bobby brings up his concerns to Zach. He's like, yo, Zach, is Willow gonna freak out if you start a showmance with Ashley? I'm thinking, yeah. He doesn't want Willow to ruin the Chop Shop, and I can totally see that happening. I could see Bobby getting really jealous too. I think, you know, he's involved in that too. It's kind of like a love square. You got Willow in love with Zach. Zach likes Ashley. Bobby also likes Ashley. It's just, it's not good. I could see Bobby and Willow both getting really jealous and that just tearing the Chop Shop apart, which I'm not opposed to. But anyway, Neha is making some serious moves. Late last night, she was trying to form an alliance with herself, obviously, Johnny, Sarah, Kevin, Jordan, Brittany, and Zach. So to make this happen, Neha, Sarah, and Johnny were really spilling their guts to Kevin about how much the bros suck. The bros meaning Greg, Bruno, Godfrey, and Bobby. And they were telling Kevin all about how they wanted him out last week, which is true. I think Jordan was in there too, kind of instigating a little bit. So then, let's go back to Newport. Jordan and Zach are like, whoa, we have a lot of power this week. So they decide to change their minds. They start talking about getting rid of either Bobby or Greg this week because they feel like that's going to keep the two sides going at each other. If they get rid of Neha, it's kind of bad for them because that is going to cause the Chop Shop to start going against each other. They're not going to have any enemies to go against, so they're going to start taking each other out, and that could be bad news for Zach and Jordan. If they take out a Chop Shop member and keep Neha, the two sides are going to still be going after each other and they can just ride the middle. So that's their thinking on that. But they're also considering, you know, if we get rid of one of the big guys from the Chop Shop, we're going to have to get rid of Neha next because we can't give her all the power either. They've got to keep it even on both sides. So then they start talking to Kevin about this and the Bermuda Triangle is born. Bermuda Triangle. All right, so they're convincing Kevin that, you know, one of the Chop Shop guys is going to have to go this week, and it seems like he's going along with it. It seems like he agrees with them. They decide they're going to nominate some sort of combination of Bruno, Godfrey, and Greg. I'm not sure which two yet. And then take out Bobby via backdoor if the veto is used. So that's pretty crazy. That's a crazy turn of events that happened last night. So then, like I said, that all happened last night. This morning, everybody wakes up. There's a little bit of strategy chat going. The Chop Shop is still like, oh, Neha has to go. And the other side is just like, ah! So they're all expecting Kevin to get his HOH room today and then have the have-not competition. That's all they're expecting to happen today. But instead, the house guests are called to the living room by Arissa. No bathroom breaks, please. They didn't listen. But they're all sitting around the living room. Kevin walks out of the vault room, doesn't say a word, and stands in front of everyone. And then, shortly after, Arissa comes on the TV screen and says, it's an instant eviction. I mean, she said more than that, but there was like this crazy long dramatic pause. I'm assuming they're gonna edit that. I think she was listening to her producer, but after a really long pause, she was like, yeah, it's an instant eviction. And then the feeds cut. We won't see them again until Sunday. That's crazy. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know if Kevin actually made his nominations already or not. If he did and that rumor is true and Neha and Bobby are on the block, it looks like the votes could come down to a tie. And, well, not an actual tie, but I mean they'll be split, and then Pilar might end up being the sway vote there. That's crazy. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of this crazy turn of events in the comments. And everyone have a happy Easter and a happy Passover. And I will see you guys in a few days. And until then, much love.